On Raw at the minute, there are two teams that I feel like should be taken more seriously, but also kind of need that improvement as far as booking goes. And they, for me, are the Final Testament and the Judgment Day. Now, I've had this idea kind of in mind for a while, where I would probably have them come together as one, and kind of see how that would work. I've kind of put a video together where I would talk about members I would add, what I'd have them do, and how I would have them come together as a kind of fantasy booking kind of video slash thing, I don't know. But yeah, this is the Wrestling Retrospective. I'm Leo, and let's talk about what I feel like could be the final judgment. So starting off with the Judgment Day, I feel like as a team they need to kind of re-establish themselves as a kind of big part of Raw. I know they are already, but that's because they're feuding with Rhea and Damian Priest. Once they've kind of finished that, I feel like it's going to be more difficult, and they kind of need to keep, as I say, keep on that control of Raw, kind of being in nearly every segment. Kind of, you know how like the Judgment Day have been, where there's multiple segments throughout the show that are about and to do with the Judgment Day. I would continue that going on, but I would then also, for a reason that I can't really think of right now, I would have it be revealed that there has been a trade between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce for 3 people of SmackDown to go to Raw, and in return 3 people have gone from Raw to SmackDown, but we don't know who those 3 people are. And it turns out to be, you know, Cross, AOP and that, which I'll reveal in a bit. I would probably have them be traded for the OC, not only because I can't think of any other 3-person team that would actually fit quite well into trading, but also with AJ Styles wanting a world championship, as when I first wrote these notes he was going after Cody and had just lost to Cody, and also Gallows and Anderson need quite desperately to be reset as well, because they have been criminally misused on the main roster more recently. But either way, I would kind of have this go on where you'd have kind of, I don't know, let me cook, I will get there, but I would have the first SmackDown after the trade has happened, I would have the AOP attack the Bloodline, because the new Bloodline, you know, Solo, Tama Tonga and that, is ass, and I can't be bothered with it anymore. So I just have them attacking. Plus it's a big statement to make on a first SmackDown after the trade. It will kind of show the intention of the Final Testament as they would be known here, as well as kind of them wanting to be taken more seriously, as I've said. I feel like Cross would then cut a good promo from him. We know how good he is at promos, kind of proclaiming that this is what they're going to do. They're going to go and take all the titles, all that good stuff. And then kind of the reason that I would call this group the Final Judgment is more for like the kind of religious overtones of what this means, which I have got written down. So sorry if it looks like I'm just reading from my notes, so you have to forgive me. But it's pretty much where Jesus has judged the living and the dead before destroying old heaven and the earth due to corruption and sin, and I feel like that kind of stuff works really well with how Cross cuts his promos. Like, you could use the religious stuff in like any promo at all just because of how good he is, so I feel like that would fit him really well. So then with them coming together like this, and they say like, and obviously you get some kind of interaction between Balor and Cross where like they've decided to come together and they form the Final Judgment. So then on Raw I would have Finn Balor, JD McDonough. I'd have Stephanie Vaquer come in as another member for the female member of them. I'd then have Carlito, and I would bring in Chris Adonis, as I think he's like a really good wrestler overall, but also he has the link with Carlito, as they were like once a tag team back in 2006, and I feel like bringing him in would be really cool just in general for the WWE, as he's like just awesome. And then on SmackDown I would have Karrion Kross, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, the AOP, as well as Scarlett and Shotzi joining the group. You know, with Shotzi being out injured for so long, I know she won't be able to join in like straight away, but when she comes back upon return, I would have her be part of this group, which I've also talked about before in an old video I did about when the Final Testament first debuted. I said that I'd have Shotzi join, and I'm fully for that still. But the reasoning I would have them on each roster like this is because you then have every championship division covered, kind of thing. So then when you get to times like the draft and Survivor Series for War Games, you don't have to worry as much, because they could have all the championships or go for all the championships, and they kind of have a group of baby faces that could come after them, making for like really cool matches and especially good War Games match. So So like you could have Cross and Balor go for the World Championships. You've got Dom and JD going for mid-card championships, Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan going for the women's championships, Scarlett and Shotzi going for the women's tag titles. You've got Carlito and Chris Adonis going for the Raw tag titles, AOP going for the SmackDown tag titles, and that kind of covers everything really. And then yeah, as I said, when it comes down to the draft, if they all have the championships, they then can't be drafted as per the rules of the last draft we had in just after WrestleMania 24. Therefore, yeah, it kind of keeps them where they are, keeps them together, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I think it's just a case of like having that big dominant team like we had with the Bloodline all that time ago. Well, I say all that time ago, it feels like ages ago, even though it was only like last year, where a big group is holding all the championships. Of course, we had it with the Judgment Day and it worked really well as well last year. But I don't know, I just feel like, as I said, both teams need that kind of reason to be taken more seriously. And I feel like if they brought, instead of like disbanding them or kind of keeping them going on the path that they are on, and kind of like, I've seen loads of people say like, oh, the Final Testament are a joke, the Judgment Day are a joke. Well, why not just bring them together, make like a super group almost, and then have them just control the entire WWE through both weekly shows, and then you've kind of got stuff that get intertwined when pay-per-views come together, and times like the Royal Rumble would be really cool because they could control the Rumble for a bit like how the Nexus did in 2011 or 2010, I can't remember, with CM Punk, and the Nexus kind of controlling the Rumble for a bit. But yeah, I feel like it's just positive for everybody, you know, it makes TV more entertaining because you've got a big group controlling both sides of the rosters, as I've said. You've got Balor and Cross being used properly as world champions, which they should be already, but they're not. You've kind of got Dom being on his own as far as a mid-card title goes. You've got people coming in like Stephanie Vaquer, Chris Adonis, Shotzi getting some good TV time. Seeing seeing Scarlett wrestle. Like, we know she's really good, it's just they never have her wrestle, but that might be a choice of hers, I don't know. But I don't know, I just feel like it would be a good positive all around to bring these two groups together. I know they probably won't do it, it's a bit of a fantasy booking video for me. But yeah, I just feel like it would be really sick. So, but you know, do put in the comment down below if you would like this idea or why this idea wouldn't work, or whether the teams are kind of too far gone at this point, especially with the Final Testament, as to like if they can even be taken more seriously, like no matter what they do. But yeah, if you like the video, do leave it a like, of course. Share it, all that stuff. Talk about it in the comments. I'll talk about it in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.